Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. And again, I like to look at everything. So we look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience to help you break karmic contracts, to stop karmic looping. Karmic looping is just when we continue to go into the same experiences, have the same experience play out over and over and over again. Like we don't seem to learn the lesson. We play out that same lesson with different people. And this is actually what tends to make us believe that we can't have something, whether it's that we don't believe that we can have love, for instance. And so I like to look deep because a lot of times what you're seeing on like a person's behaviorisms is not really their hidden truth of what they really feel about you. And understanding why a person does what they do is really helpful because then we're able to not take things personally, see things more from a place of balance. All right, let me just jump right on in. Again, I always give you an opportunity to enter into winning free reading with me. All you need to do, though, is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always that underlining energy that is that makes people perceive, that makes people perceive um, why things are happening. Like the underlying energy is why everyone's doing what they're doing, is what I'm trying to get at. All right. All right, let's see. Let's see. The word in the video is a criticism. Criticism. I believe that you're dealing with someone that like is overly sensitive, and they're overly sensitive due to the fact that they grew up in an environment that was not supportive of their emotional, mental, psychological, and spiritual needs. Um, And so what that means is they were brought up in an environment that they were taught every day that they were not good enough, not worthy enough. Now, whether that was through the action of not being there or whether it was actually being verbally told. So your person actually, like, again, now you can take it as it resonates, could be you also. I'm actually feeling like it's both of you. Like goes to like, you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So it's like that you both trigger each other, but you trigger each other for different reasons. This person deliberately doesn't hold back from you emotionally. And I feel like that's the type of environment that you grew up in. You didn't get the nurturing. And you criticize this person, the way that you come across. Like this person, yes, is overly sensitive, but it's also the combination that you're very direct. And so that triggers this person because, again, they grew up in an environment where they were made to feel inadequate. They don't realize why they are the way that they are. Now, again, we look at that because it's the underlining energy. So already there's trust issues. I'm afraid it creates intimacy issues, which is trust issues in this instance. Because if you don't trust who you are, because you're again always on guard, afraid that someone's going to say something that you can't have a conversation, then you're then there the root of that is not really believing that you can be loved. So again, and your person does have a lot of fear around it, and it creates a lot of hostility because it's like something that that they've been dealing with for a long time. So I feel like this person hides their feelings. We're going to look at the hidden truths. I can't stop thinking about you. So if this person's not giving anything, because I kind of feel like they're not giving anything because they're actually battling with themselves and wanting to control the situation because they're like, I don't really want to deal with it. That's because they know I feel that they didn't really treat you well, that they didn't handle things well. So whether you're in separation from this person for a long time or a little bit of time, whatever they did, this person doesn't like to apologize. They don't want to seem vulnerable. And so the more that they try to not think about you, the more that they think about you. That's how they know that this is like a spiritual connection. They may not even be someone that thinks like, oh, it's spiritual, it's not, but they know that the relationship is unique. I left you before you could leave me. So again, this person did not want you to, they're still coming from their ego. So again, like I said, they're fighting themselves. And so, and part of them is like, because they do care, it's more like I left you before you left me because I knew that you were going to leave me anyway. Because if you really were in my life and really saw who I am, you wouldn't like me because I don't like me. And it's an unconscious thought when a person feels like they have to like come from the mask part of themselves. It's hard to keep that up, and they're not going to let you in 100%. They're going to create this like mystery persona, and I feel like they overdid it. They overcompensated because they, love that triggers a person that has wounds, that doesn't believe that they are lovable. So they get in their own way. They sabotage the relationship. So it's like because they're waiting for the relationship not to work out. Like standing on a train track watching the train come at you and not expecting to get hit. I wish I could share my good news with you. It's like, oh, well, now that I can't stop thinking about you, and I wish I could talk to you, but it's again, this person's a complete ego. It's like I said, it's like I have to hold on to that facade because if I am not my facade, then who am I? Then I don't like that person. That person makes me feel uncomfortable because that person is actually human. It's not like this steel. So I feel like your person grew up in an environment where they weren't really allowed to express their feelings and their emotions. So it's really difficult for them. And of course, they have all these feelings for you that this person tends to compartmentalize. There was someone interfering in our relationship. So I feel like this person has no problem giving to people that they don't have an emotional connection to because it's more like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm done. It's like a actually like business exchange. And that's so I feel like the problem is like when you're with a person that gives nobody nothing, it's like then you know that these people like didn't feel good about themselves, that they were lower hanging fruit, that they were just easy people to be with, that there was no emotional connection. But the problem is those people are toxic because they are emotionally starved to the point that they will accept nothing and be okay with it, where you weren't. So again, the interference was just, it was easier. It was just easier. And I could keep my facade, like I have no feelings, like, and that I didn't really care. And they're like, why did I do that? Is when you are always on my mind. So again, because they know that it's wrong and that spiritual connection is what makes a person be like, why the fuck am I doing this? It's like, why? It's like, it's because they tried to walk away. They're trying to fight it. Even now, they still like, no, let me hold on to the facade, but I care. So they're like stuck at a fork in the road, not knowing what to do. Should I follow this facade that I need to hold on to and be completely miserable, or can I actually like let down my guard and be with you with the possibility that you're going to reject me because again, I didn't really treat you well, but you don't understand everything that like again why this person did what they did. They would is pretty much what they're saying, but nevertheless, they're like, what I take you back. I find you incredibly attractive. And I believe that, even though it was turned over, I felt like spirit said to take it. So because that's the person wouldn't listen, they would not be able to stop thinking about you if you weren't attractive. I mean, fire is the element that transmutes spiritual blocks. And so even if you were to reject this person, they were forced to open up their heart. They were forced to look and see how they played things. Only if this is true unconditional love, like, would you be with this person? And the thing is, I feel like there's so much wounding within this person's life that it would only be able to, twin flame energy would only be able to heal, to like really burst through those wounds. So we're definitely going to ask why you attracted this person into your life, and like what you're supposed to learn and how to balance out the energy, because that's incredibly important. I can see myself with you in the future, and I feel like they always say like later, later, later. It's almost like, again, their ego. They just wish you would reach out to them. They wish that you would make it easy for them. They wish that it's like, oh, why do you got to make me do all this? Really, it's really nothing. It's but it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable for this person. Um, I'm ascending past life wisdom is helping me understand things with a new perspective. So again, this is a past life connection that when two parties are both ready to evolve into the highest state of consciousness, they have the potential to evolve into twin flame. Because again, they're ready to actually learn the lesson and transmute it the way that they are supposed to. However, they wouldn't be able to not be twin flame because there's a birthing of something. There's a creation of something. That element fire is the creation, but it's also passion. So it's that's how we know. Our energy is stagnant, triggering sometimes. Happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow again. So it's like, again, you both are like resisting, where it's like you're like, there's certain things that you're like, I won't budge on. And where spirit's like, well, like you're all about time, you're all about how a person comes across. Again, this person doesn't know how to do that. They're not emotionally intelligent. That's your gift. That's where your wisdom comes in. They have other wisdom. That's the whole twin flame journey. You're not getting somebody that's like, oh, like pick a la carte. It doesn't work that way. It's more like, this is what spirit says that you need. So again, I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before, and they wouldn't, because it's a twin flame relationship. So again, they were used to like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, surface. I don't care. I can actually live dead inside, really not have feelings, use, relationships as like a business kind of transaction. Yeah, I might have to take you out to dinner and, do whatever, but it's like, there's no feelings, there's no emotional connection. I don't really care. So again, Emerald, it's all about healing, again, healing. And when you see fertility, we also know, and soul restoration, relationship, free flowing love, learning what unconditional love is. That's what this connection is. So does this person know? Their higher self knows. Their higher self knows, their intuition knows. They're like, I don't pay attention to intuition though, because that means I have to like tap into my heart, and I don't really want to do that. I don't feel safe in that space, where I feel like you're someone that's like, I feel very comfortable in that space. And spirit says, well, that's why you have that gift and they don't. It's again the whole transmutation, fire and ice. We have, divine feminine trait along with the divine masculine trait. And God is both. That consciousness is both, and it's divine because it's that higher states of consciousness that allows us to enter into a space of unconditional love. The shadow parts of ourselves is what blocks our heart off. One more, I don't know, should I do this? Spirit's always like, you pull too much. Bedroom, sexual fulfillment. Okay, so like you can like, there's a lot of passion. There's going to be a lot of passion, which we already knew that, because twin flame relationship, that's what it does. It's like both parties can't walk away. They want to walk away because it's incredibly triggering to be with someone that, is not capable of giving you what you perceive that you need because you didn't have it, when really the whole lesson is that you don't need it from someone else, that you again obtain it through your own self. And this person allows you to step into the best version of yourself. But we don't get this type of relationship. And not everyone gets it. Not everyone gets it, not in their lifetime. And you have to be ready. And there's a lot of people that meet their twin flame and they're just not ready to like actually do the work, to step into that best version of themselves, to transmute those spiritual blocks of a childhood that make us feel defective, that make us feel not good enough, that make us feel like there's something wrong with us. So we always ask God, what is the last energy? Again, the calm. I breathe, I live and grow the light wisdom within me, because Holy Spirit is inside of you. So I do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment, because only in the now do you get divine guidance by your intuition. I cast off my doubts, all fears dissipate, and I find peace in my being, because you're never alone. Ooh. Well, I don't know if you see it, but it's again, trust me, it's the calm. Um, so it's again in that space, in that quiet. So this relationship will require both of you to take that time out and reflect in the calm, because it's not just one of union, but it's one to help you work through your own healing. Like you wouldn't volunteer to do this type of healing, to go back into a dark night of the soul and to look at those wounds that made us feel a certain way. We wouldn't do that. So again, through the calm, and also like know when you're getting triggered that you have to get yourself back to the calm in order to react and respond. If there's trauma, well, there's a lot of also automatic behaviorisms, reactions. Again, because both parties, in a way, lived through their intuition. And again, having to perceive their environment, whether it was safe or not. So their wit tends to be a lot quicker than the logical analytical mind. So grounding and breath in the calmness, get back to source. Source is inside of you, spirit's inside of you. And I'm going to leave that there. If you resonated with this, you let me know. Give me a like, comment. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Virgo.